Hi there, this is Mrs. Smith. Today I wanted to visit with you guys about cyberbullying. I know you guys are familiar with the word a little bit, but I think it's such a prevalent part of your guys' life today that I thought it was really worth spending a little more time on. So here we go. Okay, so let's define it. Cyberbullying is the repeated use of technology to harass, intimidate, humiliate, or threaten another person. Um, Much like bullying, cyberbullying is used to show power. And then the added section of this is that it builds a feeling of having the social status because there's a wider audience to see what they're doing. So it's pretty sad to think about. Is this bullying? I get this a lot. Is this bullying? I don't know. Is it online? That's the cyber component of it. And then outside of that, is it a rumor? Is it a mean comment? Is it embarrassing? Is it intended? Is somebody doing or saying something that with the intention of hurting another person? If you're asking yourself, if you're involved in something and you're asking yourself, is this cyberbullying? It probably is. So my advice would be if you're questioning whether or you're doing something that's not right, then it probably isn't right. And and I would try to stay away from it as much as possible. Also, if something's happening to you and you need some help, um, by all means, I'll get that sometimes. Is this bullying, Mrs. Smith? And so we talk about that a little bit more, but remember, it's a repeated pattern that something is happening, and I'm happy to help with that. Also, where does it happen? So, bullying can happen in the hallways, anywhere, bathrooms, whatever. But once you go home, usually you're a little more removed. But with online, so cyberbullying, they can really reach people almost anywhere. The most common places are your popular social media platforms. I'm not saying again, I'm not against these at all, but I do think we need to be mindful of our presence on those particular platforms and what we're participating in. Even by clicking like, if someone makes a rude comment or putting a laugh emoji or a thumbs up or any of those things, then you are participating in it. So Instagram is actually the biggest place where we're having the most issues with cyberbullying, closely followed by Facebook and Snapchat. So just to keep that in mind, not to say you can't use those, but just be wise, make good decisions. Okay. So let's talk about the impact that this has on all of us. Who does this impact? Everyone. I'll have people say, "Oh, that doesn't happen to me." And look at my little Bitmoji. She's kind of rolling her eyes. It impacts everyone, including you. So I found an article that said 30 to 50%, one third to one half of youth have been targeted by cyberbullies. Well, when you think about that, that's not too surprising because look below. It looks like basically kids have access to technology at all times. 93% have computers at home, 66 have cell phones, 76 have some other device that they can use. So they've really got technology at their fingertips at all times. Principals are also reporting increases in the frequency of cyberbullying. So they're starting to see the situation as well. So what happens when people are impacted by cyberbullying? Well, a lot of things can happen, including depression, anxiety, low self confidence or self esteem. Some folks will just kind of want to skip school altogether and avoid people. If you're not there, your grades start to suffer. And sometimes, even if you are there, if you can't focus, they start to suffer then. After a while of having a lot of stress or or feeling depressed, people can like become physically ill. They're just not as healthy or as strong as they were before. Some people, to cope with things, choose to start bullying someone else. They take those same behaviors that were being held against them, and they use those with other people, because they're trying to regain some power. Unfortunately, they're trying to regain it through taking it from someone else. So just something to think about. As we go to the last section there, self-harm and suicide, unfortunately, have doubled as a result of cyberbullying. People are struggling with this. They may not show it on the outside. You may have no idea the battle they are fighting inside. So just be considerate with your words and understand that not everything is worth an argument. Sometimes we just disagree, and just let it go if you can, instead of saying things that you might regret. If someone commits suicide, it affects so many. And even before, just the regret that goes with that. We want to be able to reach out and help as many as we can. So if someone makes a comment about wanting to hurt themselves or end their life, I need you guys to report it immediately to an adult that you trust, immediately. And yes, the person might get mad, but that's okay. I'd rather them be mad than not with us anymore. So it's definitely something to think about. There's also a really good YouTube video that I got this information from, right down here at the bottom, from First Sight Guide. So you're welcome to check that out later. Okay, so we now know it impacts all of us. What does it look like? It actually looks a little different between boys and girls. Both are participating in cyberbullying, but for girls, it's often the use of mean labels of people, that are demeaning or derogatory, or they're judging people for what they've done or haven't done or how they look, so appearances. Whereas when we're looking at the reports from males or boys, they accuse other boys of being gay. So it's really focused towards sexual orientation or a perceived sexual orientation, or even they think they're joking about it, but really the other person's not laughing. And quite frankly, that's not a subject one should be joking about. There's not anything funny about it. So just some differences in how that plays through with the different boys and girls. So, laws and consequences. All actions have consequences. So, when we're talking about this, 49 states have, including Kansas, have adopted bullying prevention laws, which require schools to have education programs and then also prevention programs. So, when we're talking about that prevention piece, we want to make sure that the students are really taking that serious. We'll try to focus on that some more with you guys. Also, a lot of cyberbullying, the characteristics from that, and bullying also in general, go to the fact that we already have like stalking laws and assault laws. So the harassment piece or the hate or the bias sometimes will play into that. And there's already laws on the books for that. Next, I want to talk with you about something. I'm not going to say it's more important than the laws, but I think it's definitely weighs heavily on you guys. Your conscience. How do you feel about what you have done? If there's a situation going on and you sometimes when we're really in the moment and we're frustrated, we want to respond. I want you guys to think about these questions. If your parents or teacher or I were there to see what you're doing, would we be proud? If somebody did to you what you're wanting to do to them, how would you feel? And truly, how would you feel? Not the, oh, I'm fine, I'd be fine. Not that version. Take a minute and be honest about how you would feel. Does it make the situation better? Is what you want to do going to make the situation better? Like sincerely better? How would you feel if you were the reason that someone hurt themselves or ended their life? Like I said before, you never know what other people are going through. And sometimes it just takes one more thing. So please make sure that you're being kind. Um, and if you're really struggling with it, another framework to look through would be, in 5 years, will you still remember that? Will you still be frustrated about that? Usually it's doubtful. So just some things to think about to help you make clear, good decisions that you would be proud of. Um, School consequences, like I said, they're enacting some more laws. Like in 2000, they enacted another that will allow schools to be able to give consequences for things sometimes that don't even happen at school. But if whatever was done outside of school, if that leads to a disruption in the learning environment, or interferes with school discipline or education in general, those things can be handled within the school grounds. And then also using school owned technology to harass people, or also threatening or infringing upon students and their civil rights. So all of those fall under the purview of the school, and they have the authority to discipline students, because they have a responsibility to help take care and provide a free and appropriate education for all students. Some of the ways that they may handle that are outlined over here on this side. It really varies from district to district, but definitely parent contact. And then we would do some graduated consequences mixed with education, to help make sure that we are truly able to curb that. Next, we're going to talk about your future impact. So, guys, later on, when people Google your name, what will come up? Does that make you nervous? I hope not. But just remember, if you are choosing to pick on someone else, harass someone else, threaten someone else, or be truly unkind online, there's footprints, and you just don't know what might pop up when someone goes to search your name. So I want you to think about that when you are making the decisions that you want to participate in something that's going on online. You might want to make sure that you're okay with that following you for the rest of your life. You can think about, is it kind? Is it helpful? Does that reflect the true you? If so, great. I hope it is the true you, the true great person that you are. But then also, people look at this whenever you're getting scholarships or jobs or sometimes even a relationship. They'll see some things online that are not appropriate and make them uncomfortable. So just remember, the internet is not your diary or journal. Anyone can find those things, and it really can impact your future. So what can you do? So we know cyberbullying is happening, and we need to know what we can do. Your teachers, your parents, your friends, and your counselors and administrators, we are all happy to help you. Here's what we can do. So I love this. This is a PDF that was provided. It's called Standing Up to Cyberbullying, and it gives you some great steps to go through and actions that you can do. Report it to the school. Guys, we want to help you, but if we don't know about it, we can't help you. Please, please, please reach out. If somebody did something, try to have some documentation of that. So a screenshot, saving that email, that kind of thing, so that we can see what's going on. You can also report it to the site or the app that it's happening on. If it's not something within the school setting, and even if it is within the school setting, you can still report that on that particular platform as well. Talk to an adult you trust. demonstrate care. So if someone is being cyberbullied, you can reach out to them and help them. There's different ways to step in. Some of it's stepping up to the person who's cyberbullying. The other is supporting the person who's being addressed there. So think about that. We're happy to help. Happy to help. You are not on your own. Tell them to stop. So then we have a good starting point for you told them to stop. They should not say it after this. And if it continues, then we can address it even further. Make sure that you're not encouraging it. If someone else is getting picked on or picking on someone else, I want you guys to make sure that if you don't feel you're in a position where you can stand up and say something at that time, that's okay, that's fine. But you need to make sure that you aren't participating, laughing, even standing there while they're doing it. Make sure you're safe once we don't want you to get hurt. So if there's a time when things are getting really rough and then something happened, please come and talk with us. Or if you know someone who is having a really rough time, you guys know everybody better than I do. You guys talk to each other much more than you do with your adults in your life. That's okay, but you have to be each other's support. And don't give up. We will get things figured out. So please, please, please trust us and let us help. Local help. I did go ahead and throw this in here because I wanted you guys to know that 24 hours a day, we've got these hotline numbers that you can reach, or text, since you guys seem to prefer that. And then don't forget, you can come see me, you can email me, you can do the chat slips either in person or you can do one on my webpage. Please, please, please let me know. And if it's not something I can do to help, I will help you find another resource. So please let us help. We care about all of you, including the people that are being bullied and the people that are bullying other people, because we know that you're better than that. So please reach out. Let us know what we can do to help. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and make good decisions and support each other. Thank you.